I kind of want to say very similar things to what everyone else was saying when I looked at like the objectives of this workshop. I just kept coming back to, that, let's talk about the economics of how you do inclusive like placekeeping. And so what came back to me over and over again was the fact that, I've been working in this industry for like 15 years now. I'm looking at your bios. I can tell that some of you guys have been doing this 30, 40 years. And I can remember when I was in planning school, I was like, yeah, like, us planners, we think in decades, like things take a really long time. And now I'm like, yeah, but I want to be alive to see some of this. Like, it's going really slow. Like, the conversations that we're having now, I find it really frustrating because we're talking about the same things. And the reason I think we're talking about the same things is we are not dismantling the systems that are continuing to oppress people, right? So on paper, it makes sense that, like, okay, we're setting up a new city. We should have a government, and the government should provide these things, and then we'll have these departments and committees. Well, yes, that makes sense when it's not biased, when there are not all of the isms. So as you guys all know, we just have a lot of systems that are just not working for us. So I just think it's so critical, especially us sort of in this professional class. Like, I just read an article and I searched and searched, I couldn't find it, but it was Richard Florida and one other researcher, and basically saying, like, yes, you can focus on the 1%, but let's talk about the professional class. We're the ones that have 84% of the wealth. And so I really just think our professions have got to kind of put ourselves out of our jobs, at least to a degree, where sort of when you look at, I still think about the Dudley Street Initiative in Boston a lot. They've been around since the 80s. I think of the Boston Ujima Project, folks that are organizing people to say, this is our neighborhood, our community, this is what we want it to be in all of these different aspects. And then we invite the professionals in to help us when we need them to help us. So anyway, IOBI is a nonprofit crowdfunding platform that also has that ethos of the people that live there, they kind of know what they need. Let's put the resources in their hands and just support them, both on the online platform as well as offline. Like, if you need to talk to someone that is an expert in community gardening, we can connect you to them. We can have webinars, we can have conversations, we can have all of these offline resources that we also connect you to. So I mean, I really do think it's about how do we work in this current system while dismantling it. The story I was going to tell today is about a person named Carmen Lane. They are in Cleveland. They're in the Buckeye neighborhood. I think it's very similar to a lot of neighborhoods we've grown up in or know very well that historically over time there have been a variety of ethnic groups that have come through there. Right now it's predominantly Black. It is a poorer neighborhood. I think the previous wave was Hungarian people. There's a lot of single-family homes in pockets of the neighborhoods, and Carmen saw this vacant home. Carmen is an artist, a healer, a writer, a facilitator, and they were really interested in saying, like, the things that people need should be right in their neighborhood. What if I could take this vacant home, turn it into a healing space? We can have artists do their residencies here. We can do leadership development. People can just gather here, and it's right where people live, and it's for them, and it's actually led and programmed by the people that live here. So Carmen got a grant from the land bank. There was a gap in the funding that Carmen needed, and that's when they came to IOBI to raise money for that gap, and did 2 crowdfunding campaigns with us. First they raised $4,000, and then we're able to raise another $11,000. So that's an example of the type of person. Justin, thank you for telling your family story too. We're just sort of the vessel, and IOB leaders are the heroes of the work that's happening across the country. And so Carmen found a way to work within the current system to, as a queer person in a particular neighborhood that is under-resourced in some ways, navigating the current system had a series of barriers. They were able to overcome them. Wonderful. But at the same time, again, I just think we have to continue to dismantle the ways that is really, really setting up some incredible barriers for folks. So I think I'll stop there.